it's very, to really connect with the previous sessions, you know, a lot of the panelists spoke about the challenge they had. And I must tell you that the biggest challenge I had when I started Wedding Sutra way back in 2000 is with my whole family. Though there was no, I'm a South Indian, I'm a Tamilian, and there was really, really no connect to the wedding industry. The whole perception was that weddings are supposed to be simple. And for everybody in my family and extended family to even kind of fathom what is the work or what is the content which you can do in the wedding industry. And that for me was the biggest challenge, but even the bigger challenge was the socializing. Many of my friends, relatives were of course South Indian, but everything changed after my Marwadi friend was there to help me. So that's the story. And the same Marwadi friend introduced me to Seema auntie also, the same just recently, but from the year 2000, every year I tell him, introduce me to 5 people so I get to know what is happening in Marwadi weddings and more. I'd also like to, I don't know whether, is Joshua in the room right now, or has he stepped out for a little break? You know, I'd also like to connect with a very interesting example of South Indian weddings. And I know when your brother, whom I used to interact with, Joseph, started out, he was very active in Hyderabad, if I'm not mistaken. And while he made a name for himself in Hyderabad, he then moved on to Bombay for whatever reasons, possibly because he was here. He knew that if he had to convince you to join the business, he would have to move to Bombay. But while everybody I know of who looks to move from Chandigarh to Bombay, or from Nasik to Bombay, or from any other city to Delhi, here is a very interesting story of a business which was already well established in Hyderabad. So that is the South Side story for you. And I'd like to really start by talking about the community which has been popularly called the Punjabis of the South. And again, I was talking to Amit about this. I said, please, and I tell each of my writers, and I must tell you, even 5 years later, many of my writers don't get it. In the article, they still write South Indian wedding. And I always tell them, when you do not write North Indian wedding, why do you write South Indian weddings? Because there are Tamilians, there are Keralites, there are Kannadigas, and you have multiple communities. And my friend Srinivas often connects me. He says, listen, Parthip, you always talk about Reddys in Hyderabad, but there are many more communities which spend as much as Reddys and more. So each day is a learning day, but to deep dive and try and help our audience here and our guests who are planners, hoteliers. I started off by talking about Marwadis, which is very interesting, but there are so many. A little about the community which is popularly called the Punjabis of the South. A little about what they are looking for post-COVID. Shravan, over to you.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible? Yeah. Oh. So
when you talk of, I know a lot of your predominantly you do a lot of work with the Reddys.
Yeah, basically 60% of our clientele is these Reddys.
Louder, please. Yeah.
So this is somehow the dominating families in Hyderabad who has great spending capacity, and basically we use post-COVID we used to handle weddings for 20,000, 25,000 gathering. This was 15-20,000 gathering wedding is like a daily routine job for us. But there is a drastic shift from this larger gatherings post-COVID to the destination weddings. So this is a very challenging for the families also.
So there's a lot of learning for you on destinations. I noticed from someone like you who knows everything about Hyderabad, you are expected to know about Vietnam today, Thailand tomorrow, and Middle East day after, right?
Yeah. So this was never before. Huh? So okay. This last 2 years was a great journey, learning for me from a lot of my friends who are already done a great job from North.
So what is the size of the guest list for a Reddy destination wedding?
I think 400 is the minimum, 400 to 500 guests is the minimum.
And when they come back to do the reception in their hometown, what is the numbers like?
What?
when they come back to the hometown to do their reception, what are the numbers? Is it still 20,000 or has it changed?
No, the recent last year wedding we have done in Bali was for 450 destination wedding, but the reception was for 100,000 people, 1 lakh people reception.
So that's great
it's the
news
same
for the
scale.
industry.
Yeah.
So the industry is having the cake and eating it too. They are getting the destination weddings and they continue to get the numbers
For the
for the hometown wedding. Srinivas, again, while we are in Hyderabad, you have Marwadi clients and you have many clients who are, can you tell me the communities typically?
Sure.
Beyond Reddy's, yeah.
Am I audible? Yeah, I think
Loud and
clear. Well, as you have mentioned, it's not only the Reddy clan. I mean, my share of customers are 50% is a Marwadi, the South settled Marwadi for that matter, and then 50%, closer to 50% is the Shetties. Definitely, there are a lot of other communities who spend as big as these different communities spend. And moreover, I would also like to add this point. Since yesterday we have been talking about weddings in South or planners in South. South is opening up, South is growing big. No, I disagree with that. South happened to be always big. South has been always powerful. The only reason is South has been always simple and humble. And now South has been acknowledged globally. I would say nationally, globally the South has been acknowledged. So I think that's my 2 cents of share. And yes, as I've mentioned, Shravan has mentioned, post-COVID, the destination weddings are anywhere between 300 to 400. But yeah, that one reception back at Hyderabad ranges from 10,000 to 1 lakh. That's crazy.
Very interesting. You know, we talk about the South weddings, how they are different. You have the big ones and the intimate weddings. But what I really see, and I was discussing this both with Amit and Vinay, there are so many NRIs who are from Chennai or Bangalore. They are having an intimate wedding. And they are all, many of them, in fact, I do know Bangalore as a city has embraced digital much earlier. Just as how there was a phase where people did not understand the role of a wedding planner. Bangalore as a city, I know, if you reach out to many of those who run tech platforms, they will tell you the percentage of bookings from Bangalore, whether it's not necessarily for a wedding planner, but for a makeup artist or a photographer, the percentage in Bangalore is much more than any other city. So really, Amit, would you agree with me that Chennai as a city, when you look at, and I'm not talking of the Marwadis or the Gujaratis, there's a huge number of NRIs who actually are seeking wedding planners who want to do for intimate weddings?
Yes. Hello. It's audible? Yeah. Nowadays it's happening. The time is changing. After COVID, there are a lot of people are coming back. They want to do wedding in Chennai or wedding in South or wedding in, and a lot of NRIs coming.
Yeah.
But Chennai, basically the Tamil people, they're a little conservative.
True.
They don't spend much. They're literally simple people.
True.
They're very happy with the just shirt and the vesti, like that. Their meal is very, very simple. So like that, they don't spend much.
True.
They do not want. It's not like that they don't have money. They are filthy rich, but they don't.
And in simple words, they don't believe in shosha.
Yeah. No shosha, nothing. They're really simple people. They're very simple and humble people. So we are trying to cater those people also nowadays. There are a lot of inquiries, a lot of demand is there now.
Of course, while all designers can effortlessly move from couture to preth, the challenge for planners would also, I know Divya and Vitika, we've had lots of chats on this about launching the preth version where somebody just pays for a consultation, but that's a different story altogether. But I'd like to give another example. We've talked about how South has a very vibrant and a flourishing and a professional industry. When I was talking to the general manager of a hotel in Mahabalipuram many years back, and he wanted to make Mahabalipuram the destination wedding hotspot, he said, Parthip, I'm not looking for the receptions to come from Chennai, but I want a Punjabi family from Ludhiana or a Marwadi family from Calcutta to come and get married here when neither the boy or the girl side is from there, because that is what has contributes to making it a destination wedding hotspots, and the results are there. So Vinay, do you have many such clients who have neither, because you know how it is when somebody says, I'm getting married in Mahabalipuram. Yeah, this, oh, okay, so the boy is from Chennai. So this same question was asked to a friend of mine who is from Rajasthan. Her brother is in Udaipur, and the girl is from Delhi. She says, no, we chose Mahabalipuram because we could not, due to COVID, have a wedding in Thailand. We're obviously not going to get married in Rajasthan, and we didn't want Goa. So do you have many such clients?
Yes, absolutely. So I would just like to share an experience. There are many such clients, but one specific experience, there was a client from Mumbai, and we've done his son's wedding in Udaipur. And he wanted to get his daughter married, and he said, when I just suggest me a destination, you know, something different, where I can give a different experience. And I was like, okay, why don't you come to Mahabalipuram then? He was like, pagal ho kya, Mahabalipuram. So I was like, please, just try once. And then he came here, he just, saw other hotels, and the daughter liked the vibe of Mahabalipuram. So she was like, I love this place. But they were like, no, but yaar, tum to idli sambar khila ke maar doge. The food here is not good. I don't think, my guests would be happy over here with the food. And then we said, okay, let's try with the hotel, and let's try with the caterers as well. And then we proved them wrong, and they just relished the food. The guests loved the food. Then came about the talent. The decor. Do we have good decorators over here? And I think if they meet Amit Bhaiya, the Floral Hut or Mehak here, they just are proven wrong because they're awed by the decor and the designs that they give.
Great.
Then came the talent. Then, but merko sabko, I have to fly down everyone. Do we have good talent in South? I was like, of course, you have to try. And then when they meet the people over here in South, they come to know what immense talent South has. And then, of course, the rest of the things just fell in place, and then we did that wedding. And now I would just like to share that he's just referred another friend of his who's ready to do a wedding in Mahabalipuram.
Lovely. This would have been unimaginable, say, 5 or 10 years back. It's very heartening to hear this, because one is, there are different kinds of people. There would be those who want to have the intimate weddings in their hometown. There could be those who want to have the intimate weddings outside. But what is really, really going to make the change is when people from outside also come here. And is Dakshina here? I would like to talk about the food here. Talking of food, I think the breakfast today at this amazing hotel was one of the finest breakfasts I've had. Not just the South Indian food, the North Indian food. The person who was sitting next to me was from Delhi. He was enjoying the Oriental food. And I had a friend from Delhi who enjoyed the North Indian food. He said it was as good. I think everywhere the change is there. But we have traveled from Chennai to Hyderabad and now Bangalore. I'll start with a conversation which I had with a friend from Dubai just 2 days back. And you know what he told me? Parthip, there's a gentleman who lives in the fanciest villa in Dubai. The wedding was supposed to happen in Lake Como. And this morning, we received the invitation, and they have chosen Bangalore for their destination wedding. I said, well, this is the start. NRI family, no connection in Bangalore. And this is the start for the all-year good weather destination. So please go ahead, Divya. Destination Bangalore.
Yes. So Bangalore in that sense has been a little different from the rest of every city in South India has its own unique features. Bangalore has always been one of those simpler cities, but very well connected.
But corporate, if I could add corporate also.
Very corporate. And, there's a global sense, a very, cosmoculture which is there. For many years, we used to have weddings which were 500, 600, and everybody knew that if you get more numbers, the only other option was convention centers.
These were not destination weddings.
No, they were not. Look,
these were reception.
And even if you wanted to have larger numbers, the only option available was convention centers, which it didn't appeal to everybody's sensibilities. But after COVID, a lot of things changed. Like we have JW Marriott, the Golfshire property, which came up with extensive, inventory. And then we had this beautiful venue called...
And now there's a hotel opening next to it, which can accommodate another. So you can comfortably have a 700 pax destination wedding. and not worry about Bangalore traffic.
Absolutely. So that's why we're seeing a lot of influx of Sindhis and Marwadis and the North weddings which are coming to Bangalore simply because this property is very close to Devanhalli, which is the airport. So from airport to here, finish the wedding and go back.
How many of you have been to the new airport in Bangalore? I'm still looking forward to. Have you been to the new?
Yes, it's beautiful. It's really, really nice.
Nice.
So I think connectivity, having the right set of inventory, and of course the weather, because it's beautiful, and the area has beautiful hillocks and the whole atmosphere of the place makes it a nice destination for a wedding. So I think that's the reason why we have a lot of Sindhis, a lot of Marwaris, a lot of Punjabis coming from North India to do weddings towards Bangalore. And the market is still opening up. For intimate weddings, Coorg, Chikmagalur, which was still unheard of before COVID, where nobody wanted to travel that far. We have done a couple of weddings last year itself in Coorg and Chikmagalur. So these spots are opening up towards Bangalore.
Before we talk about spots near Bangalore, this was a feedback from a wedding planner who had worked both in Bangalore and Bombay. He said, Parthip, Bangalore hotels, this is pre-COVID, are flush with business from corporates. Yes. And they cannot handle a Marwadi wedding. Agree, disagree?
I disagree because, see, the market has really changed and every hotel has geared up, understanding that hospitality is important. That industry is very important to bring in the business. So there are certain hotels which are still corporate, but then there is a whole lot of the big 5-star hotels, like you see.
For my friends who are on the panel here, I'm sure some of you have worked. Do you think it's a bit of a challenge working in Bangalore vis-a-vis a Hyderabad or a Chennai for a wedding?
My experience working in a couple of weddings in Bangalore, the hotels are now prepared. Post-COVID, they've actually understood the
they value
importance
it more.
of
Everybody
wedding
understands,
events.
values weddings much more post-COVID. Yes.
The only concern is what they are bothered about is weddings actually damage the property. When I say damage, it's not a physical damage as such, but in terms of running down the property, because when we are known to actually use the resources to the optimum. So that's why they are only worried. That's the reason for a corporate event,
Amit,
the cost is different.
all your elaborate sets, Amit, all your elaborate sets, you know what it does to the ballroom.
I think the other reason is partly because when you work with corporates, they have a very process-oriented system, which the hotels are used to. So when weddings come, there are so many changes that happen every now and then. The sets are different. So that's where there could be a challenge, but so far as we have worked in hotels, we know that. And then we have the chowdhuries, not to forget the Kalyan Mandapas. Yeah. Some of them are very popular as well. So those places, the weddings, definitely they all understand what a wedding plan requires.
Amit, you want to add something to that? Yeah. The wear and tear. And hotels, because you worked with hotels all across South, I'm sure, right?
We do work with all the hotels in down South, basically mostly in Chennai. It's there. I can't deny that it's not there.
So would you agree with me, it is definitely easier to work in a Fairmont Jaipur than working with, say, a hotel in Bangalore?
It's not like that. Okay. I'm comfortable in any hotel.
Okay.
A lot of people complain about the hotels, about the property. For me, I'm comfortable.
By now, you're skilled at the
I worked in Bangalore, I worked in Hyderabad with Shravan and all also. I worked in Coimbatore, I worked in any, you name the city, I'm comfortable because I know how to handle those people. Sure. I have to take care of the property, that's all. If I damage the property, then no, they will come back and make a complaint about you. But if you take care of the property, if you do properly all the things, it's okay. Doesn't make a big difference.
Srinivas, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, when I actually meant damage to the property is not the damage to the ballroom as such, but the rooms what are used by the wedding families, and to the optimum in terms of partying inside, in terms of multiple, guests across, changing.
Pan parag.
Pan parag.
I would just like to add, the wear and tear that you were talking about, I think a lot of it, even the planner is held responsible. And I think now with all the hotels, we sit with the hotels, we do a show run, there are the protocols which have been followed, and the dismantle process has been discussed, and the time frame has been discussed. And I think it's very smooth with the hotels that we've worked with.
I think also, finally, what happens is the hotels know the Instagrammable images they are going to get from a 200-pack social, compare that with 200 corporate types coming, and you know the difference. The way you can transform a ballroom, the way your guests can make your lobby buzz with energy. it's more than this thing. I think a lot of hotels, not just pre-COVID, but many years back, we know the ITC Moria story. When they were doing so well with weddings, they actually stopped weddings because for them, it was something they did not want to handle. They didn't. And now we all know ITC is chasing weddings. There's no hotel which is not chasing weddings. Hyatt has gone social. Hilton with Manyata. There's nobody who's not, because for them, they also know that weddings and corporates coexist. And you don't say I'm only a wedding hotel, because by getting corporate business, the same corporate people also feed in the wedding business.
I think either which ways the hotels are now covered, because the corporate cost versus the social cost is almost double. So I think that's rest assured for them, they're compensated as well.
Great. So I'll come back to some interesting locations. We've spoken about Chennai, we've spoken about Bangalore, we've spoken about Hyderabad. We know the Kerala Tourism Board is doing a lot of work when it comes to promotions. Unfortunately, again, this is just my perception. I'm sure Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh can do more. I know like Vizag as a destination, there's a lot of potential. But would like to know from you, any places in the south where you feel there is potential or who can do more when it comes to intimate or big fat weddings? We'll start with Divya.
I think Coorg is the next big destination. I know at Divya Vitika, we were promoting coffee plantation weddings for a long time before COVID. And everybody said, oh, it's so far away from the airport, so much we have to travel. But last year we did weddings in Coorg and Chikmagalur. And we realized that everybody is ready for new experiences, so they don't mind.
When Chikmagalur, most of your guests, they came in from Bangalore? Or?
They came in from Bangalore, they came in from Hyderabad.
Okay.
They came in from Delhi, Bombay.
And which property did you do the wedding in?
We did the wedding in Taj Madikeri, as well as the
This
Paul
was Coorg,
property.
but what about Chikmagalur?
Chikmagalur is, small intimate weddings, coffee plantation weddings or their own properties, because they have big homes and villas there. Great. So those kind of properties are popular. Also, Ashtamudi, Kerala, that property is also being talked about a lot. NRIs are talking about it because the visuals and the kind of beautiful location that it is located at. Sure. So Kerala has always been popular. Sure. Kovalam and Cochin, they've come up with new properties there. So these are the popular destinations.
And of course, with Grand Hyatt Kochi, there's been a huge...
Great influx, yes.
Amit, what do you think about this? Destination weddings, intimate and big fat potential. Which are the properties where you see?
As of now, both are happening. We have inquiry for a small wedding also, the intimate wedding also, as the destination. Because after COVID, everybody wants to do destination weddings. Somehow.
But which are the locations in Tamil Nadu where your clients are interested in if they want to go out of Chennai?
No, my clients are mostly they're interested in Chennai, Mahabalipuram, basically.
Okay.
Because of the
so Mahabalipuram rocks for your clients.
The scenic view and the beach
it has everything and the accessibility.
Yes.
Whatever said, and then Coorg 4-hour ride is not too comfortable, but nothing is as comfortable. I think all of us have traveled to hotels in Goa, Rajasthan, in Thailand, Sri Lanka, but I think nothing is as convenient as Mahabalipuram.
Mahabalipuram, yeah.
What about you, Shravan, in South?
In South, I think Vizag is one potential destination which has coming up with good properties, beachside properties and all. So that's one potential destination in South,
Great.
Close to Hyderabad.
Vinay?
My two picks would be Ooty.
Okay.
Ooty is a great destination, and the climate is amazing over there, and Pondicherry.
Just a few minutes back, I think somebody asked on Wedding Sutra favorites about production support in Ooty. Right, I remember. Yeah, great. So Pondicherry and Ooty. And any particular properties in Pondicherry?
In Pondicherry, you have resorts like the Ocean Spray Resort, which is a huge resort.
Okay.
So you can do a really good wedding over there. Sorry? Of course, and the Radisson that has come up, of course.
I must say, I don't know much about the Radisson Pondicherry. For my friends in
done a
Radisson,
wedding there.
Please market Radisson Pondicherry more, because I didn't know much about this. Yeah, I know Radisson Vizag is amazing. I've heard some great reviews, which is why. But Radisson Pondicherry, if the team is here, please share some details with me. Would love to know more. Srini.
We have actually explored right from Kochi, then to Bangalore, and yes, Coorg and Ooty, and in fact, Pondi was on my list. I haven't explored Pondi, definitely. We've done events in Mahabalipuram, Chennai, Bangalore, and Kochi. Kochi happen to be right now one of the favorites in the south. And definitely Pondi, Radisson, I would love to visit while I'm here. And home ground as such in Hyderabad itself for us, there's so many venues. In fact, like what Shravan has mentioned last time, we have easily 10 indoor venues where you can accommodate 10,000 people in each of these venues. And we have also inbound weddings coming from different parts of India, from Surat, Calcutta, where we have Ramoji Film City, one of the largest film city and a destination venue as well.
Very interesting. We have, for this, my final question here is for our hoteliers in the thing, because see, when we talk of Gujarat, I know hoteliers are interested in Vadodara, Surat, and of course Ahmedabad. When we talk about Rajasthan, not only do they know about, the destinations in Rajasthan, but they also know, like if it's like Rajasthan, a lot of them are very interested in cruise weddings, and they know that the clients are typically from, if not from Jaipur, they would be from a Jodhpur or an Udaipur. Similarly for the East, we all know how sought after the Marwadis are from Guwahati, Siliguri, and not just Calcutta. So this is more like a cultural deep dive. We know about Bangalore. I know you have a lot of clients from Bangalore. Which other locations in Karnataka are your clients from?
So they're all from smaller towns as well, like Tumkur,
Tumkur?
Hubli.
Sorry?
Hubli.
Okay, Hubli.
So these are places close to Bangalore where the clients, come down to Bangalore. Or
So next
Davangere.
time a hotel wants to do a road show
Yeah.
in one of these places,
Yes.
they can reach
They
out
need
to
to
you
target
to
these
connect with
places.
one of your clients who can help.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, we've spoken a lot about Chennai, but I'm sure you have lots of clients outside Chennai. Which are these places from, Amit?
We have a lot of, nowadays Chennai, Mahabalipuram become a destination.
But outside Chennai and Tamil Nadu, which are the places?
Destinations Mahabalipuram become a destination.
Sure.
So people are coming from other state to Chennai
No,
nowadays.
but I'm talking within Tamil Nadu, which are the places where you have maximum clients within Tamil Nadu? Is it Tirupur or is it Coimbatore? Which are the places?
It is a mixed crowd. For me, it's a mixed crowd, Parthip. Mostly from Chennai.
Okay.
But we have clientele from Coimbatore, from Tirupur, from Trichy.
Great. Coimbatore, Tirupur, Trichy.
Trichy, yeah.
Shravan?
Yeah, we have a lot of clientels from Vijayawada, Guntur,
Vijayawada, Guntur.
Guntur, Nellore. These are the closest places. We have a lot of clientels.
Rajmundry. Okay,
Yeah,
Vinay?
Rajmundry too. Yeah, Rajmundry.
I think people from Madurai, Salem, Ambur, Arakonam, these are the places where, there are a lot of weddings they want to do in Chennai and Mahabalipuram.
great. Srinivas, finally for you.
Even me too, mostly from Vijayawada, Vizag. Right now I'm working on a wedding from Bhimavaram.
Okay.
That's there. And then
Where is the
Nellore
Bhimavaram,
actually.
Where is the Bhimavaram client having a wedding? In Hyderabad?
In Hyderabad. That's in this May. It's a large one.
Nice. Great. I think we've covered all states. We've not only talked about the destination wedding hotspots, we've talked about the clientele who make weddings in Chennai, Bangalore, and Hyderabad, the grand weddings. We've talked about the various communities, but of course, that of course it cannot be covered in a panel discussion. But I'm told that I would have loved to have some questions, but I think we need to wrap up, Shivani, or do we have time for one or two questions? Okay, just one question. You've all been very patient, but would love to have one question before we wrap up for lunch. Shrikant? Great. I think everyone is really hungry, and thank you for being thank you for being very patient. Maybe I think we should all come forward for a photo op.
Thank you so much, all the panelists and moderators. Please step forward for the group photograph. Ladies and gentlemen, stunning South. Before all of you break for lunch, small information. We do have a lot lined up for all of you. The panels on digital, divas and dawns, picture perfect masterclasses on world of creative inspiration by Gideon Hermosa, panel on Wet Your Palette and on art of gifting, and the session on